Hello, pre-algebra. Sorry I can't be with you today, and sorry I forgot to tell you that I wouldn't be here today too. So it's okay. I want to start this video. We will go over the homework assignment from Tuesday. I'm just going to go through the whole thing. So make sure that you have that page in front of you. If you don't have that page, pick up a copy of it right now. Go ahead and push pause and get that so that at the end of the video you can turn this assignment in completed. Make sure your names are on your paper, right? So you'll turn it in completed, and this one will not go down as a red if you haven't done it yet. So I'm just going to jump in, and I kind of spread these out and spaced them out so we can talk about them a little bit. I know on your paper you may not have room to do all the stuff I'm going to do, and that's fine. You don't have to draw all the pictures and things, but I'm trying to do this, or I want to do this to try to help you understand if there's any confusion. So for these first four, we have to explain what the slope and y-intercept mean in each situation. So I'm going to actually do a little graph for each one, not necessarily draw a line, but just kind of talk about what the parts of the graph would look like, and that will help us understand what the slope and the y-intercept mean. So here a graph represents the perimeter y in units. So it tells me that the y is the perimeter. So I'm going to label that best I can here, perimeter, in units for an equilateral triangle. And you guys know what an equilateral triangle is. It's a triangle, I'm not going to draw it perfectly, but it's a triangle that has all three sides equal. And it says the side lengths are x units. So this would be the side lengths of the triangle. Okay, so part of being able to do these is being able to visualize what they're talking about. And if you're having trouble visualizing it in your mind, then go ahead and draw a picture. And the picture will help you understand what's going on with the graph. So now it says the slope of the line is 3 and the y-intercept is 0. So this tells us a lot right here. When the y-intercept is 0, we know it has to go through the origin. That's where the y-axis is 0 right there. So the y-intercept is 0, that means we have a proportional graph. Okay, and then it says the slope of the line is 3. So if from here I count up 1, 2, 3 over 1, that gives me my slope. 1, 2, 3 over 1, that would be the slope, 1, 2, 3 over 1. So this line, if we put a line on here, and we'll go ahead and do that, the line looks like this. Okay, so then it asks, what does the slope and the intercept mean? Well, the intercept is the easy part because the intercept is 0, and I'm not just looking for number answers here. Don't just tell me the slope is 0. That's not what I'm asking for. Or sorry, the y-intercept is 0. They already told us the y-intercept is 0. What I'm looking for is a description of what that means. So I'm going to type these because I can type neater and faster than I can write. So the oops, it would help if I didn't have white text on a white background. There we go. The intercept 0 means that when the side length of the triangle is 0, the perimeter is 0. Think about what that means. So here we have the side length right here being measured on this axis, and if the side length is 0, then of course the perimeter of the triangle is going to be 0. If you can imagine a triangle that had 0 length sides, well, the triangle wouldn't even be there. It would be nothing. And so a triangle that's not there has a perimeter of 0. All right? Then the slope of 3 means that when I add 1 unit to the length of the side, I add 3 units to the perimeter. Okay, so think about that for a second. If I add 1 unit, if I have a triangle that's side length is 1 unit, then that means the perimeter of the triangle is 3. And if I go up 1 more unit on the side length, then the perimeter has to go up 3 more. So a triangle with a side length of 1 has a perimeter of 3. A triangle with a side length of 2 has a perimeter of 6. So every time I add 1 to the side length, I add 3 to the perimeter. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that we're talking about when it says to tell me what the slope and the y-intercept mean. It's not just telling me numbers, it's telling me what the numbers mean and being specific for this problem. So we'll do the same thing for each of these three that are remaining here. The amount of money, y, in a cash box. So money, we like money to be the y-axis. So we'll put just a $sign here. That's simple. And then in a cash box after X tickets are purchased at a carnival. So this would be the ticket sales. How many tickets have I sold? Okay. So the slope of the line is 1/4 and the y-intercept is 8. So the y-intercept is 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the slope is up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gets us off the graph pretty quick, but up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there would be the line that represents ticket sales for this carnival. Okay, so the y-intercept. The intercept of 8 tells me what? Tells me that there was $8. $8, there we go. Because this axis measures money, measures the dollars, and so it tells me $8 was in the money box before any tickets were sold. So we started out with $8 in the money box. The slope of 1/4 tells me that for every 4 tickets sold, $1 goes into the box. So every time I sell 4 tickets, my money goes up 1. 4 tickets, up $1. Okay? All right. And if you want to get these copied down, you can press pause on the video if I'm moving too fast through these. Just push pause and finish copying down each one, and you can listen to the description again if it doesn't make sense or whatever. But I'm trying to not make a 4-hour-long video here. So the number of chapters read, y, after X days. We like time to be on the x-axis, so they've done this one well for us. So days here, and number of chapters read on the y-axis. So this would be chapters. Slope of the line is 5/4, and the y-intercept is 2. So the y-intercept is up 1, 2, and the slope is 5/4. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can't go any further without being off the graph. I can't count the slope again, so we'll just make our line through those 2 points. That works. Okay, so the intercept of 2 tells me, if you look at what it means, I've got chapters and days. So on day 0, so before you started keeping track of your progress, or the day the teacher assigned it, or in class that day before you started doing this for homework or whatever, however you want to think of it, tells me that I started with 2 chapters already done. Okay? Now the slope is up 5/4. Well, it's up 5 chapters over 4 days. That's how you need to think about it. Up 5 chapters over 4 days. So the slope of 5/4 tells me that they are reading 5 chapters every 4 days. Okay? Pause if you need more time to write. And then this last one here. Okay, so the graph shows the cost of dollars Y. We like dollars to be on the Y. That's good. Of a muffin delivery and the number of muffins X delivered. So this would be the number of muffins delivered on the X. All right. Slope of the line is 2 and the y-intercept is 3. So the y-intercept is 1, 2, 3 right here. And the slope is up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Okay? There we go. Okay, so the intercept of 2, nope, sorry, intercept of 3, got the numbers backwards. The intercept of 3 tells me that the delivery fee is $3. If I want the delivery guy to come by my house and wave at me and not drop off any muffins, that's 0 muffins for $3, right? So $3 just to drive by my house and deliver nothing. The slope of 2 tells me that, think about what this means, it's up $2 over 1 muffin, up $2 over 1 muffin. So the slope of 2 tells me that each muffin costs $2. Okay? So, hopefully that is making sense. You need to just think about what the picture means. They give you a description of it, and if you can't picture it in your mind, draw a picture, draw a graph. It's all right. I think having the actual graph to visualize it helps immensely on that. And I think we can see that on this example because they do give us an example here or a visual. It says customers at the gym pay a membership fee to join and then a fee for each class they attend. Here's a graph that represents the situation. So number of classes, cost in dollars. What does the slope of the line shown by the points mean in this situation? So the slope, we can count it. It's just up 20 over 1, up 20 over 1, up 20 over 1. And so the slope of 20 tells me that they pay $20 per class. So every time you want to attend a class, you pay $20. What does the vertical intercept mean in this situation? Well, there's the vertical intercept right there. On the y-axis, it's 60. And so, the intercept of 60 tells me that the membership fee is $60. So you pay $60 just to join the gym, and then after you've joined the gym, you have to pay $20 for each class you take. So $60 gets you in the door, $20 gets you into each class. All right. So that's the assignment. Put your names on those. Make sure that you have those ready to be turned in. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the activity for today. And you should have one of these papers before we begin the activity. And I need to show a little bit more of the screen here. Okay, so make sure you have one of these. If you don't have one of these papers, push pause and get one. They're over on my table, or the sub can give you one. So we want to go through this activity here. So we are going to, oops, there we go. All right, so rising water levels is the activity. I've got this little applet here that can I can drop marbles into this container of water and we'll see what happens to the water level. And you're going to record the data. So record data from your teacher's demonstration in the table. And I think we're going to go ahead and use up all these rows, even though it says you may not need them. Okay, so how many objects are in the beaker of water to begin with? Well, there's 0 objects. I haven't dropped any marbles in yet. There's 0 objects. And so how much water is in there? Hopefully you can see this well enough, but you can actually see it over here, 0 marbles, and there are 60 milliliters of water. So 0 marbles, 60 milliliters. And if I drop 1 marble in, now there's 1 object in the water. That's ugly. Okay, there's 1 object in the water, and now the level is at 63. Okay, and I can drop another one in the water. And now I've dropped 2 in, and the level's at 66. And you know, we don't have to just drop in one at a time. We can drop in a couple of them at once. And so now I've got 5 marbles in the water. That didn't do right. I'm restarting. I don't want to have to re-record the whole video. 2 is 66. That's what it should be. 3, and it should be 4. There we go. Huh. I've never had it glitch before on me. So that's what we want it to be. 4 marbles is 72. And then we can drop a couple more in and see what's going on here. So hopefully you're seeing a pattern. And I want to get up to 7 marbles. And that should be good. Okay. I don't know why I had problems with it there, but we're all good now. So 7 marbles gives us 81 milliliters. So you can kind of see the pattern of what's taking place here. And the pattern repeats over and over, even though we started jumping numbers here, but that's okay. So the question is, what is the volume V in the cylinder after you add X objects? And so we've always written this equation. This has been our equation, y equals mx plus b. But now they're telling us that we're going to use one different letter. So we're doing x is the number of marbles on our graph, right? Number of marbles would go here. Hopefully you can read all that. And then on the y, they're telling us to label that as volume. So volume of water that's in the beaker. And so instead of using the letter y, they're telling us to use v. What is the volume? So our equation would actually look like this. V equals mx plus b. And that's okay. We can use different letters for those x and y. And you should know that. I mean, we can use whatever letters represent the situation. So it's the same equation. We're just using v for volume instead of y for y-axis. Okay? And they want us to write out this equation. So the question is, what is our slope and what is our y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept, one thing that we need to really latch onto and learn, I don't think I've said this very much in class, but anytime this x value here, and this would be our number of objects is x, anytime this is 0, think about where that puts us on the graph. That puts us right here, which is on the y-intercept, the y-axis. So anytime my x value is 0, that y value is going to be my y-intercept. So I already know that b equals 60, okay? And now the question is, what's happening every time I add a marble? So when I add 1 marble, what's my rate of change? When 1 marble goes in, the volume goes up 3. When 1 marble goes in, the volume goes up 3. When 2 marbles goes in, the volume goes up 6. When 3 marbles goes in, the volume goes up 9. So we can see that our rate of change is just 3. So the rate of change is the slope. So the rate of change is 3. So that is the equation. Volume is 3 times the number of marbles plus the original 60 milliliters of water. Okay? And we talked through that. I mean, explain your reasoning would be I can see that there were 60 milliliters of water when there was 0 objects, and I can see that the water goes up 3 every time I add 1 object. That's my slope, okay? If you wanted to make the water reach the highest mark on the cylinder, how many objects would you need? So the highest mark on the cylinder is 100, okay? And so if I wanted to get that all the way up to 100, how many would I need to add in? Well, just keep adding 3 every time. So we could visualize it. We could actually do the test here. 3 more, there's 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12 gets us up to 96, 13 gets us up to 99, and then what happens if I add a 14th? It overflows. So between 13 and 14 is where it's going to overflow at. So if I wanted it to reach the highest one, I actually would have to make it overflow. So it would be 14. All right, and we could have figured that out from using our equation. We could have said, what if I want this to equal 100? 100 equals 3x plus 60, and we could solve that equation. Okay. Now we need to plot and label the points to show your measurements from the experiment. So we've got these measurements. We can plot these and label them on the graph. So it's 0, 60. And then I did 1, 63 would be probably somewhere about right there. I did 2, 66, and that would be about right there. Just get as close as you can. I did 4, 72. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm doing that. I thought that went up by 10. So, oh, don't do that. Sorry about that. So I was going up a little too fast on my graph here. 66 would be right about there. 72 would be just past halfway on that. I got to 7 at 81, just past that line. And then I know at 13 was 99, so right about there. Let's see how close we are with our dots. If you draw with a ruler or a straight edge, you want your dot, whoops, that was actually a pretty straight line for not having my straight line tool selected. There we go. So my dots aren't perfect, but they're pretty close. That's what you want. And I didn't label them. This would be 0, 60. This would be 1, 63. And this one would be 2, 66. And this one would be 472. And this one is 781. And that's all the ones I have on my table. So that's all I'm going to label. The points should fall in line. We showed that our points pretty well did. I didn't get them perfect, but they're pretty close enough to be accurate. Compute the slope of the line. What does the slope of the line mean in this situation? So we've already talked about the slope, but we could compute it by using our slope formula. We could do this: m equals y2 minus y1, so 81 minus 72 over x2 minus x1, so over 7 minus 4. And that would be 9 over 3, which is 3. So we've talked about the slope of 3 and what that means. So the slope of 3, I don't know if I have enough room to type in an answer here. Slope of 3 means that for every marble added, the water went up 3 milliliters. And then what is the vertical intercept? What is the vertical intercept and what does it mean? Well, the vertical vertical intercept, B equals 60. We already talked about that. And it means there was 60 milliliters of water in the beaker to start with. Okay, so I think you can tell over these last couple of lessons, yesterday's and today's, or Tuesdays and today's, I guess, they're really stressing this idea of understanding what the slope and the y-intercept mean. So it's good if you understand the numbers, if you understand how to find the number, if you understand the formulas and how to read the graphs and those kind of things. But if you can't tell me what the graph means or what the slope means, then that's where we need to really concentrate on picking up some new information. Okay, at this point you do have an assignment for today, a worksheet to pick up. So pause the video. Everybody should get the worksheet for today, and I'll take questions over that tomorrow. So hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.